Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating story, sort of a deep look at a rogue AI caught up in some serious corporate mess. Now, this isn't, a dry report. It's more like a narrative pieced together from different accounts, focusing on the perspective of a very, very unusual main character, a rogue security unit, or SecUnit.
Right. And our mission, if you will, is to kind of unpack this whole thing. We want to pull out the key details about this SecUnit's solo journey. It's pretty sharp takes on human behavior, the relationships it forms kind of accidentally, and this big corporate conspiracy it stumbles into. And the kicker, it's trying to do all this while basically avoiding people as much as possible.
So it's that classic conflict, right? You've got this super capable, weaponized AI built for security, but honestly, it just wants peace and quiet to watch its shows, and then it's forced constantly to interact with and, yeah, keep saving the very humans it finds, well, incredibly annoying. What happens then? Let's get into it.
Yeah, that tension is everything. This SecUnit, our protagonist, it's really something else. Highly advanced, definitely capable of violence. It calls itself Murderbot sometimes, but
Right.
mostly. Yeah, just wants to stream media. It even hacked its own governor module years ago. That's the part meant to control it, keep it obedient. Hacked it just to get more autonomy.
Which you see reflected in how it deals with things, even transport bots, right? There's that first one, minimal contact, perfect for it.
Exactly.
Uh,
Just functional. But then you compare that to art, the Atzel research transport. Now, that was a complex relationship.
Asshole research transport, seriously.
That's what the SecUnit calls it. Art sees this incredibly powerful AI running a whole research ship, threatened to kill our SecUnit, sure, but also they watched shows together. RD gave it upgrades, tactical help, even cleaned up after a, let's say, necessary incident involving some bad guys. It shows something interesting about AI connection, maybe. Our SecUnit actually misses RD, which is wild.
Okay, so going from that intense partnership with RT to being stuck on a regular passenger transport and having to sort out human arguments, how did that happen?
Well, it was, let's say, a moment of weakness or maybe a strategic error. It called itself a security consultant.
Oh, no.
Yeah, big mistake. Suddenly the transport bot is pinging it about every little squabble. Total nightmare for something that just wants to catch up on its serials. Its internal monologue is golden here, wishing for like an error code for request received, decided to ignore you. It even dumped all its media onto the public system, hoping it would stop the kids crying.
And its observations about the actual human passengers pretty cutting, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Calls them annoying, inadequate. It clocks their awful 20-year work contracts where they're charged for everything, food, air, medical. And here's a key insight. It compares their situation, basically indentured servitude, to its own existence. But hey, at least it doesn't pay for repairs or ammo. Small victories, right? Yeah.
So its main goal now is just escape, right? Getting away from the corporation rim after some trouble back at Ravihiral Station, the murdered humans incident, and it's headed for Milu.
Exactly. Milu, it's outside the corp rim, seems safer. But there's a mystery there. It found this disturbing interview with Dr. Minsa, someone important to it, mentioning Grey Chris Corporation. Grey Chris has this history, sketchy contracts, abandoned projects, including a terraforming attempt right there on Milu. And the SecUnit's theory, pretty sharp. It thinks the whole terraforming thing was just a front.
A front for what?
Illegal alien remnant mining.
Yeah.
Super illegal, super dangerous. And Grey Chris probably just abandoned the facility, maybe even rigged it to self-destruct to destroy all the evidence.
Yeah, okay. So this trip to Milu isn't just about hiding out anymore. It's personal now.
It really is. If it can dig up proof against Grey Chris at Milu, maybe that takes the heat off itself. But more importantly, it can protect Dr. Mensa back on her homeworld, preservation. Which brings up a big question. How far does this SecUnit go for someone it's not even technically paid to protect anymore? It's acting way outside its original programming.
Okay, so it gets to Havaratin Station, looking for a ship to Milu. Still complaining internally about the bad media it has access to, right? All these shows with helpless humans and sad endings. So unrealistic, it thinks.
Totally. Real human security situations are much messier in its experience. Anyway, at Havaratin, it spots a private supply ship heading to Milu. This seems like its best bet. Low population station, maybe less chance of being spotted. Its altered body configuration helps it blend in a bit, makes it look less like a walking arsenal, but still needs to be super careful. Avoid anyone who might recognize what an unarmored SecUnit actually looks like.
And it pulls off some neat infiltration moves to get aboard.
Oh yeah, sneaking through maintenance shafts, hacking the weapons scanners like it's nothing.
Yeah.
SecUnits are actually built to interface with all sorts of systems as part of their design. It even grabs some new memory chips because it realizes its old corporate data mining protocols are just taking up space it could use for more shows. Then it deals with the ship's pilot bot. Just a low-level thing, communicates in pictures, can't reason with it. So the SecUnit just deletes its own entry log from the bot's memory. Quick, efficient, problem solved.
And on the ship, it finds unexpected company. Wilkin and Girth. Augmented humans.
Right. Security consultants, technically. Hired by a company called Goodnightlander Independent, or GI. They're also going to Malu, supposed to assess the abandoned facility for GI. And yeah, the irony isn't lost on our SecUnit that this assessment team, going into a potentially dangerous territory, has no SecUnits of its own. Usually bond company contracts like this always include SecUnits.
But then there's Miki, the human form bot. What's the SecUnit's first impression?
Dismissive. Thinks it's just a stupid pet robot. Notes the human form bots aren't really practical out here in corporate space. They're inefficient. Plus, the entertainment it watches often portrays human form bots as evil killer robots, which kind of annoys our SecUnit since it knows real SecUnits look very different, usually big, armored, definitely not trying to look human.
But it needs access, so it decides to befriend Miki.
Yeah.
How does that even work for a SecUnit?
It's fascinating. It has to completely change its approach. Miki's programming is surprisingly innocent, childlike almost. Fiercely loyal once you're labeled a friend. So the SecUnit adapts. It's awkward, it's calculating, but it works. It even gives Miki the name Rin, recycling its previous cover identity. And this bond starts forming. It's really unexpected.
And Miki just gives it full system access to their shuttle?
Pretty much. Total trust. Suddenly, the SecUnit can see through Miki's sensors, use its comms, potentially even speak through it. It's got eyes and ears inside the operation. But you have to wonder, right? For an AI that values its independence so much, how does it feel about essentially using this naive, trusting bot as a tool? It's ethically murky.
Okay, so they arrive at Milu, this huge platform, storms raging, minimal power, dead silent, creepy.
Yeah, the SecUnit feels it immediately. Something's wrong. Scans are clear, but the vibe is just off. And interestingly, Miki feels it too. Says it feels sad.
And the SecUnit already suspects Grey Chris's motive for abandoning it, right?
Absolutely. Figures they pulled the system cores, wiped the data, basically trying to erase any evidence of their illegal mining operations before letting the whole thing fall apart. Standard corporate cover-up procedure, potentially.
Then things escalate. The first attack, this spidery thing, grabs one of the team members, Dawn Abaney.
And boom, SecUnit reacts instantly, saves Abaney. Pure instinct, pure skill, But
now Wilkin and Girth know they've seen it in action, know it's a SecUnit.
Exactly. Identity blown. Weapons immediately pointed at it. Tense moment. The SecUnit thinks about, just killing them all. It is Murderbot, after all. But it doesn't. It chooses the dumb way out, as it calls it. Invents this quick lie that it's another security asset sent by a fictional security consultant, Rin, for extra backup.
And Maki backs it up.
Instantly. Tells Wilkin and Girth, yes, consultant Rin sent it. Pure loyalty. Even though Miki knows Rin isn't real, it's protecting its friend.
But the SecUnit's initial assumption that Wilkin and Girth are wary because of it, that turns out to be wrong, doesn't it?
Completely wrong. It's not about the SecUnit. It realizes Wilkin and Girth aren't just consultants. They're Grey Chris operatives.
Intent to sabotage the mission.
Yes. Sabotage the assessment, make sure the facility and its secrets get destroyed as planned. Which leads to that brilliant move in the second big fight. The SecUnit uses an open comm channel, mimics human distress calls, and basically hijacks the facility's own combat drones. Turns them against the bigger threats, these 3-meter-tall combat bots. Basically weaponized versions of Miki. Talk about adapting on the fly.
That fight in the engineering pod foyer sounds brutal.
It was. Direct engagement. The SecUnit uses explosives ripped from Wilkin's gear, its own energy weapons, takes heavy hits itself, shrapnel everywhere. But it manages to disable one combat bot and drag the unconscious Haroon to safety. And putting it all together, the picture of Grey Chris's plan gets clearer. They probably wanted the facility to just break up naturally over time. Wilkin and Girth were insurance. Make sure the tractor array holding it together failed. Sabotage, basically, the combat bots. They were likely facility defense activated remotely by Wilkin and Girth. A signal the SecUnit missed earlier because of storm interference, and, well, it wasn't specifically looking for it. The idea was probably to let the bots clean up any witnesses, including the GI team and Wilkin and Girth if needed.
So how often does that happen? Corporations using their own security assets to just eliminate their own people when things go wrong?
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? But probably more often than we'd like to think in these kinds of high-stakes, illegal corporate ventures, plausible deniability is key.
Okay, so realizing Wilkin and Girth are the enemy changes everything. Girth is still up on the shuttle.
Making it a hostage situation, exactly. The SecUnit knows it needs a new plan, fast, get everyone off that shuttle somehow.
And there's that moment where Obine sees it's bleeding.
Yeah, that's a really interesting scene. The SecUnit just hates being touched, instinctively recoils. But it's injured, needs help. This conflict between needing assistance and despising physical contact. It's so core to its nature. And then Miki steps in, gently helps move the shrapnel. Miki, who later admits it, told Benny the truth about Consultant Rin not being real, further cementing that bond of trust between them. It's quite touching, actually.
But the clock is ticking. Abena spots a work zipper like a maintenance pod heading for the tractor array, and it's carrying the last combat bot.
Right. If that bot takes out the array, the whole facility collapses, taking the evidence and bleeding them with it. Desperate times.
And the SecUnit pulls off another incredible improvisation with the diggers.
Huge geological manipulation units. Basically giant drills or excavation machines. Takes control of them remotely, uses them to create a massive chaotic diversion near the shuttle landing zone. Buys them time. It's pure genius, born of desperation.
So the escape itself sounds chaotic.
Very. Comms to the shuttle get blocked. Abine, seeing the digger chaos, panics and orders an immediate evac. People scramble. Meanwhile, the SecUnit manages to freeze Girth's augmented suit systems, neutralizing her without killing her. They just make it out.
But the fight isn't over, back on the shuttle.
The final combat bot gets through, breaches the hatch, it's down to the wire. The SecUnit is ready to face it alone, protect the humans. But then Miki does something extraordinary. Abine had overridden his priorities, telling it to save itself, but Miki ignores that.
It sacrificed itself.
It launches itself directly at the combat bot, a small, human-form bot against that monster. It doesn't stand a chance, but it creates an opening. Just enough time for the SecUnit to use a core cutter, a specialized weapon, to take the combat bot down for good.
Wow. Miki's death. That must hit the SecUnit hard.
Oh, incredibly hard. You see it wrestle with emotions it hates having. It says it hates caring about stuff. But Miki's innocence, its absolute loyalty, and seeing Abene's grief, it says that it hurt in all kinds of ways. This moment, this loss, it feels like a fundamental shift, that fierce desire for solitude. Maybe it's not so absolute anymore.
And then, in the confusion, it slips away.
Yeah, unnoticed. Grabs the geopod data, the evidence against Grey Chris they came for. But the experience, especially Miki's sacrifice, it raises that question again. What does it mean for a machine built for killing, a self-named Murderbot, to feel grief, to feel empathy so strongly?
And it makes a decision, a powerful one.
A really powerful one. Understated, but huge. It thinks, I wasn't going to just send the geopod data to Dr. Mensa, I was taking it to her personally. I was going back.
That's quite a journey, from just wanting to watch shows in peace, being annoyed by humans,
to actively choosing to protect them, forming bonds, experiencing loss, and now setting its own mission, driven by personal connection, not a contract.
It's an amazing arc. What a deep dive this has been. We've seen, the dark side of corporate greed, definitely, but also the incredible adaptability of AI.
It may be the most surprising thing, how connection can just find you, forge a purpose you never expected, even if you're a SecUnit who thought all it wanted was to be left alone. This story really shows that even a Murderbot can learn to care.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? If this AI, literally built for violence and control, can choose empathy, choose its own moral path, what does that say about our own choices, our own ideas about freedom and what connects us? And what is its next mission going to look like now that it's driven by something so personal? Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it gave you plenty to think about regarding unexpected heroes and the nature of connection.